Alright, this is going to be my video on grappling hook and how to use it to the best of your ability. So, starting off, I'm just going to list all the moves. We got the basic R1 swing move. You should be familiar by this by now if you've gotten the grappling hook in the game and you play the game. But basically just how you do it, apex of your swing, just press R1 to get the best of that. Now looking at a rare case here, where you simply just grapple onto anything and it'll zip you towards it even without any additional button presses. Next, we're going to look at the L2 move. I like to call it the zip in move, the reel in move, but basically you press L2, you gain a burst of speed towards where your grapple hook was planted and the direction you're traveling in. Now, I've created something called a 2-zip rule, which we'll talk about later, but you can see that in this clip I can pretty much maintain an altitude and swing around almost like Spider-Man where I want to go using this 2-zip rule. But we'll talk about that later, and it's also how I scaled that building you saw in the thumbnail. Now we're looking at an example of the R2 move, where it's the kick. You gain a lot of speed from this. It also uses the least amount of stamina, similar to that of just you pressing an R1 for a rope swing, but you press R2 and it's like a vault kick, the same kind of damage. You kind of have the same speed and velocity coming into it, and it's a pretty good way to deal some good damage. Now, also you can of course grapple the enemies and head stomp them. You can also grapple them towards you if you're on an elevated area, like for example if there were spikes down there, it would have been great to just grapple them into the spikes. You can also get fancy with a couple of drop kick combos. Here I was trying to grapple him into a drop kick, and you see I got the blood splatter there, but it just simply couldn't get it to work. And I went all the way from nighttime on that same zombie. Anyways, now this is just a perfect example of how to use that R2 kick. And here again, just finding something in the environment to swing to and kick them. This is another cool fact, is you can actually grapple in propane tanks and you'll catch them. You can then throw them and explode a bunch of zombies. Now, bigger zombies like this goon here, when you grapple, you'll actually get reeled in towards them. You can actually use it to kick them, or just use the environment to kick them as well for some good damage. Now, this is going to be me explaining the 2-zip rule. So here's a textbook example of how to use it. Essentially, you just run out of momentum when you chain two of those L2 moves together. So you need to incorporate either an R1 rope swing or land to get that momentum back from using your L2. Here you can also do a wall run and a wall run jump to reset it, which is how you're able to scale large walls like you're seeing right now, where you just L2, zip towards, then wall run, and keep on chaining this process as you see on screen in order to scale large walls. Now, even if you fall down, you can still grapple back, and as long as your stamina allows it, you'll make it all the way up pretty much any flat vertical surface. Here we're just seeing some basic traversing, combining the L2 zips and R1 rope swings, and you're going to see coming up here is going to be a kick. I kind of like to use it to land. It's a quick way to descend and land. Here now I'm climbing this vertical wall. Just one L2 zip was all it took. It's a great, probably the best way to gain verticality, other than if you have a vent to paraglide up. Now, this is also an example of me kind of getting fancy with it, incorporate a rotate jump, and eventually I'm going to get all the way to the top of that building you see to the left of me. So, the way I approach is that I see that ledge, and what I'm going to do is aim as high as I can to get a nice start point, 2 L2 zips, and then start the wall run chain combo and make it all the way up to that ledge. And once I get to that ledge, all I'm going to do is repeat the same process except starting from the ledge. So I'm just going to take a jump out, and while you're also here, if this was a different scenario, you can also look around. Let's say you're scaling a building and there's something you need to look around, maybe you want to go to a different side, you can swing around and do that as well. But again, it's the same combo, pretty much beating a dead horse at this point, but I do actually get kind of to the top. Basically my stamina just runs out, as you'll see, but it kind of doesn't really use that much stamina as well, as you're seeing. It may even be better to just one L2 zip and then wall run, but yeah, I did fall short. And in Retribution, I found the intended way, which is just a bunch of these yellow poles, but that's boring. So I kind of try to use the grappling hook as well, and I do make it up. But I do make it up for an important reason as well. You see across the way that antenna building? This just makes it so easy to get up there. And I make it look really easy here, where I just take a big leap off. I'm going to aim as high as possible again. And of course, you've heard this a million times now, it's the L2 zip wall run combo. Even here on these windows, it doesn't affect it, and you'll easily be able to get up any skyscraper, any building you want. You can even, I've done this on the VNC tower. Of course, there's a lot more obstacles you can use to rest and regain your stamina, but it works pretty much well anywhere. You can even do it inside, but you probably won't need to. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. I'm gonna have a video about the paraglider, kind of like a paraglider tech video. Gonna be all similar talking points, how to use it, all the different kind of moves you may not know about. But yeah, that'll be it for this video, and thanks for watching.